Good morning, internet webs world people. How you guys doing? It's Friday. Friday's an awesome day to go out and do some awesome stuff. But it really is just a day ending in Y, right? So if you're living for the weekend, it might be worth examining why exactly are you doing that. So this morning, we're going to talk about the one critical key secret to life, love, and happiness. And how to get there quickly and easily. And I have no idea how long this is going to go. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe the rest of my life. Who knows? But I'm glad you guys joined me this morning, this afternoon, whenever you listen to this, because it'll be out a couple different places. So I want to read you a little quote, talk a little story, and then we'll talk a little life lessons. And here's the quote. It's from a lady named Helen Keller. And if you don't know who she is, I'll explain in just a moment. And she wrote, once upon a time, because she never said this, but she wrote this, "Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. To keep our faces towards change and behave like free spirits in the presence of fate is strength undefeatable." Now, this was said by a woman who was blind, who was deaf, and who was mute. So she couldn't see, she couldn't hear, she couldn't speak. And yet somehow she learned to communicate. She learned how to write. She learned how to get things across. It was not an easy process. There's actually a biopic movie about it, kind of sanitized, I think. She was a little bit hard in some of her belief systems and some of her thoughts, and so she's somebody worth researching. Do I believe that every historical figure is absolutely infallible? No. Everybody eats, everybody poops. We all have ish to deal with. Mental, physical, emotional, metaphorical, literal. Ain't nobody saints. We all got things to work through. So to ignore the human condition, or to ignore what makes a person, a product of their time, it's part of the equation. It's something we shouldn't shy away from, I don't think, but at the same time, we shouldn't glorify either. So it's a little bit of both. A little bit of, we say in our Kung Fu family, you got to separate the person from the Kung Fu. So what is it they're espousing and how do they live their lives can be two different things. Doesn't mean you throw out everything that they're pointing out, because if only people who live a perfect and infallible life are the only ones who get to have an opinion about anything, we all got problems. All of us. Because we all mess up. We all make mistakes. We all overreach. We all do things that, as youngsters, we regret. True story. You are the dumbest you will be now, 10 years from now. 10 years from now, you look back and go, man, I was an idiot. But you're doing the best you can now, because the now you is smarter than the 10-year ago version of you. Because that 10-year-old version of you, total idiot. So stupid. Had to learn so much more. And has grown so much better. You're so much more amazing than you were 10 years ago. Own that. What's really fun is then I have the students that are like 9, and they're like, but I'm only 9. I'm like, that doesn't change anything. You're more awesome now than you were 10 years ago, because 10 years ago, you didn't exist. So you're the best you ever. And every day, you get a little bit better. So for me, the key to that story, really, the key to that quote is this idea that, we can be safe, we can be secure. No, not really. Things happen. You can't control that stuff. You can't control the external factors. What you can control is the internal factors. And that really is the one critical key secret. It's contained in an equation that I learned from a guy named Steve Linder. And I'll give it to you real quick. It's a simple equation right here. And my camera may be reversed for you, I'm not 100% certain, but this is the letter C, this is the greater than sign, and this is E. Cause is greater than effect. So if you can learn to live at cause, I guess it'll be over here. If you can learn to live at cause, you're going to be happier. See, does life happen to you, or does life happen for you? Everything happens for a reason. It serves me. I can find the good in any situation. So those are slightly different statements. Both are positive attitudes. But if everything happens for a reason and it serves me, I'm kind of at the effect, because I don't really know how things are happening. I got to figure it out. I can find the good in any situation. That is more of a positive mindset, but it's also a proactive, it's a at cause type of mindset. So, why are people being mean to me? Effect. What am I doing that's inviting people to feel comfortable being mean to me? How am I not asserting my boundaries? How am I not speaking up for myself? How am I not owning my responsibilities, owning my time and space? So it really is this idea, if you can just figure out, if you can just decide, how do I get to cause and how do I stay there? And sometimes you're going to be at effect And then you'll realize, oh, I'm at effect, right? I just shared a meme with a friend of mine. He went to a Buddhist temple not that long ago, had a really cool experience. And so I shared this meme, and it's this guy, and he's thinking, and on the one side, it's like, oh, I feel sad. And on the other side, it's like, I realize that I'm thinking about feeling sad. And when you realize you're thinking about feeling sad, you're starting to disassociate and pull back and realize that the me, the full, real me, isn't just that little experience of being sad, because that's just a moment. I can feel that, but then I can realize that I'm feeling it. And when I realize that I'm feeling it, it like pulls me one back, right? So I have a background certifications in neurolinguistic programming, and one of the things we'll do sometimes is a disassociative technique. Imagine, instead of you or a person going through a traumatic experience and they relive the story and they feel it, they see it, they hear it, they're fully associated, they're seeing out of their own eyes. Well, what if you could sit in a movie theater and put it up on the movie screen? And that's a first layer disassociation, because when you see it on a movie screen in your mind, all of a sudden, it's a little less personal, it's a little less intense. And then, what if you could sit in the control booth and you had total control of the movie, and you could see yourself in the movie theater watching yourself go through the experience on the screen? And the you in the control booth can move it forward and backward and change the sound and change the color and change the speed, change the words, make everyone look like Mickey Mouse characters, and make them eat their words and speak in balloons, right? There's all these cool things you can do to then we can begin to shift and reframe how we experience that memory, how we experience that emotion. There's a thing called a scramble technique, where you think about, you had a record back in the old days, or a CD, and you scratch it really, really, really bad, and then you put it in the player, and it'll just sit there and skip, and it won't run anymore. So if we took a painful memory, and we put it up on screen, and we played it forward, reversed it, paused it, now sit in the movie theater, now in the control booth, watching yourself in the movie theater, watching the screen, and you have control, you can begin to go backwards and forward and make it silly and put music and do all these really amazing things. We can begin to scramble the internal representation of the memory. And all of a sudden, it gets really hard to remember exactly the emotional content. It makes it really hard to stay attached, to stay stuck. So there's tools that we have that we can begin to change how we represent things inside. But it takes a decision. It takes the decision that I don't want to live at effect anymore. I don't want this story to control me. I'm just going to, and the key thing, the key secret between cause and effect is you just decide. You decide. Decide, from Latin, caedere, it means to cut off. You're going to decide, I want to be here, not there. And then you begin to ask yourself a new set of questions. How do I? And I talked yesterday about the 4 questions, how to reframe any negative experience and turn it positive. So you should watch yesterday's Facebook Live if you haven't yet, or maybe it's down there, or maybe it's over there. I don't know where the buttons are on your browser, phone, whatever. But it's the idea that you just decide. Happiness is available. Contentment is available if you just decide to notice that it's available. Right? It's like, oh, I have to have all these reasons. I have to have all these things, and then I'll allow myself to feel a certain way. Oh, that's interesting. So is that somebody who is at effect, or is that somebody who is at cause? I'm sorry, somebody who is at effect, or is that somebody who is at cause? So it's, how do we raise our kids? How do we talk to ourselves? How do we communicate to our partners, business people, clients, customers, students, whatever you got? How do you get yourself to cause? How do you help them get to cause instead of effect? Kid doesn't get to have dessert, Evie, yesterday, because she had lunch, and we're working with her right now on eating more of her food, because sometimes she doesn't feel like it. She bashed dinner like a champ, but she hardly ate lunch. At her school, they had lunch, and it was like shredded chicken, and they had tortillas, and they had salad. She didn't eat the salad. She ate a little bit of the chicken, maybe a couple bites, and then she ate like several of the tortillas. But she really didn't eat that much for lunch. And so I said, okay, well, you're not going to get candy for dinner tonight. You're not going to get candy for dessert because you didn't really do a good job at lunch, did you? And then I had to go teach class, and her sisters are here, and they woke up from a nap, and so she wanted to watch TV. And I told them, before I left, I sent them a message and said, okay, ladies, when she wants a snack, she can eat a peanut butter sandwich. Well, she asked for candy, and so they gave her candy. So we had a little conversation about that, and that's not okay. So she was told she wasn't allowed to have candy for dessert, so she had candy for a snack. Yay, my little lawyer lady, 5 years old, brilliant, gotta respect that. But at the same time, you knew better. So, you're not going to get, there's going to be no screens tonight. But I want to watch this. Okay, well, no. Help me understand. Are you being a good listener? Are you doing the things I'm asking you to do, or are you trying to sneak ways around it? Right? So if you want to get the rewards, you want to get dessert, you want to get the fun stuff, you have to do the work stuff. You have to do the important stuff before the fun stuff. Now, bonus points. She's not a teenager yet, so I'm not going to explain this to her. Bonus points if you can make the work stuff into the fun stuff, and they're the same thing, because then life gets even more fun. She's not ready for that yet. I have to get some structures in place with her at 5, so that at 15, I can connect some things together for her and with her. But it's this idea helping her get to cause that, well, wait a minute, because you did this, this now comes out of that. But by the same token, this morning, because you did such a good job getting up and eating breakfast and being a good listener, you get to have some music and some YouTube in the car. So this is a consequence, young lady, because you were awesome. You get cool stuff. Because I want to create that connection that her actions, put her back over here at cause, her actions lead to her outcomes, good, bad, or sideways. How can I help her understand that, experience that, frame that for her consistently? Versus, you never let me, you don't, mom doesn't, grandma, grandpa doesn't. Oh, excuse me, hold on. Is this something we're doing to you, or is there something you're doing first that's causing this? And I'll use that phrase, causing this, and I'll draw the picture, causing this. So if you don't like this cause, what can you send out different first? What can you do first? And that's to help her shift back to cause. How can I get her to happen to life? So cause is greater than effect. Let me give you a more technical, tactical description of this, and it is this. We're going to say A plus B plus C equals your life. Right here. Right there. Good morning, Miss Tisha. So we got A plus B plus C equals your life. And the A, B, C, that's the internal factors that you can control. The life is the external factors that you cannot always control. Now here's the key. You must learn to control the inside and either harmonize or influence the outside. See? You control the inside stuff to harmonize or influence the outside stuff. And this is where I see a lot of parents get in trouble with their kids, is because they're trying to control their kids. And so that always puts you're the outside. If you want to be in pain and misery, try to control the external stuff. Try to control the weather. Try to control the traffic. Try and control what's happening geopolitically, right? Try and control that stuff. You're going to be in pain because there's too many variables. There's too much stuff. Try to influence it. There we have room. Or harmonize with it. Well, I want to go outside, but it's raining outside. Okay, let me go play in the rain. As long as there's no lightning and thunder, I'll just go outside and play in the rain. It's okay. I'll stomp in the mud. It's cool. Because I get the outcome. I want to go with my daughter. We want to connect. We want to go play. Oh, it's raining outside. We can't go do anything. Pushaw. Be more playful. Be more creative. Why can't we go out and get dirty and then come in and take a shower and get clean? So that's that idea that I can harmonize the reality. But the inside, I got to learn to control. You got to learn to control. And the inside, the ABC, is what you think, it's what you feel, and it's what you do, or what we call the heaven, the human, and the earth. Well, I'm sorry, the heaven, the earth, and the human, right? So the heaven is what we think, the way we talk to ourselves inside our head. The earth is the way we feel, it's the gravity, and the human is the things that we do, it's the actions that we make, it's the habits that we create. If I hear a kid tell me I don't feel like it, I hear an adult tell me I don't feel like it, does that sound like somebody controlling the inside or harmonizing with the inside? Saying, I don't feel like it, so I'm not going to do it. I didn't ask if you felt like it. I said, get up and get moving. I said, get it done. I said, make this happen. I didn't ask if you felt like it. Very rarely do we feel like cleaning the bathroom. I mean, it'll happen, but it's got to be a pretty horrendous state. Versus we just wake up and go, the bathroom looks really good. I think I'm going to clean it again. Yeah. That's a rare thing. And if that's your attitude, hey, come on over to my house. I got a job for you. Make you some money. But it's the idea that take action, and you've had this experience where you're not really excited about something, but you take action. And as you take action, start cleaning the bathroom, cleaning your room, doing the yard work, making the phone calls, writing the content, whatever the case, as you take action, you start to get motivated. See, a human animal, what I call a human doing, then we wait for the motivation before we take action. A human being has choice. We just decide, I'm going to take action. Motivation will be there. I don't care. I'm going to take action. Motivation shows up or not, that's fine. I'm cool with it. So this is the concept of getting that control. ABC, get control, not harmonize. External, harmonize or influence. Now, one last piece, because why do so many people live at effect? Why do so many people live on the outside and don't deal with the inside? Well, because the inside's scary and it's hard to understand. And it's natural. If something inside of you is causing you pain, you push it away. But whatever you push away, you're actually adding energy to. Whatever you resist is going to persist. When you bring it home, when you internalize it, it goes away all by itself. No willpower, no force of effort. Do you want to lose weight, or do you want to gain health and vitality? Do you want to wake up in the morning feeling energized? Well, I just want to lose a couple pounds. No, you don't. Because if you did, you'd do it already, and it would stay that way. What you really want is you want to feel energetic, you want to feel more dynamic, more engaged in your life, which is a whole different thing than losing a couple of pounds. And that's why a lot of people, we're getting ready for the New Year's, a lot of people, they go work out, they make these decisions, it never sticks. Or they go in this thing and they've been losing the same 10 pounds over and over again. They lose 10, gain 10, lose 10, gain 10, or realistically lose 10, gain 11. But for 10 years they've been losing the same 10 pounds because they don't have a more powerful, more compelling future to draw them to a higher level. So we got to get to that space, but how do we get there? Here's the trick. Imagine somewhere over here on the inside, you're experiencing negative 500 units of energy. You have some sort of pain on the inside, some sort of nagging doubt, thought, fear, insecurity, whatever the thing. How much success on the outside is going to fix that issue on the inside? How much praise, accolades, money, recognition, cars, women, men, whatever the case? How much stuff can we give you on the outside that's going to fix the hole on the inside? Or are you just always going to have the hole? And the bigger the number gets on the outside, the bigger the success, the more you feel disingenuous, the more you feel like a failure, the more you feel like you're faking it, the more you feel like you don't believe it. I just listened to like a little short biography on the young lady who was the singer. She was the girl in the Seekers, which is the first Australian band to become like international superstars back in the 60s. And she's like, oh, I'm too heavy. I'm not that pretty. I'm not all these things. She's like, she was so insecure. And the three guys she was with, they're so amazing. They're such talented artists. And so she quit the band, like when they were super successful. Like they took a 10-week, one of the guys managed to get them on a boat, a ship, and it was a 10-week thing to go to Britain. And while they were there, they were playing music, and so they earned their keep. And when they got there, they got a contract, and they got like people giving them stuff, and they became super famous. And she had to, like 20 years old, had to call back international in the 60s to say, hey, Mom, Dad, yeah, I'm not coming home. I got opportunities here. But she felt false. And so she quit. Because they had started, they said, everybody, give us notice. You got 6 months to whatever. If you don't want to be here anymore, we'll cancel the group. And so she was the one really who made the group. She had this amazing voice, and the way her voice blended with their harmonies. About 10 years after she left the band, she realized, oh, my special thing was my voice. It wasn't the way that I looked. It wasn't this. But see, no amount of outside stuff is going to fix that inside stuff. We got to go fix the inside stuff. Whoop. Gravity. So, cause. If you can get to cause, you will be more powerful in your life. And if you want to be happy, if you want to be secure, you just decide. Decide that you happen to life, not life happens to you. And from that decision, you begin to start changing your questions. You change your questions, you change how you show up. And then remember, control the internal factors. Influence or harmonize with the external factors. That's all you can do. If you try to control the outside, you're going to be in a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And if you only harmonize with the inside, you're just going to be at the effect of life. Your choice. Let's actually have a solution, right? In our Kung Fu family, we call this first hall knowledge. Because everything is built on that foundation, that mental, that emotional factor. Everything is built on that. You can have somebody, the most physically gifted athlete. But if their head and their heart are in the wrong place, they are going to implode. They are going to self-destruct. Because remember what I said earlier about that cause. And on the inside, if you have a hole on the inside, more money, more fame, more power, more everything, more money, more problems. It amplifies whatever instabilities you have on the inside. One of the great ways to think of it, one of my coaches, Dan Kennedy, talks about, when you have people and they have cracks, they have little insecurities, little doubts, little fears, and they're making a little bit of money, it's a little bit of a trickle, not that big a deal. As they get more successful, as they get more whatever, imagine you plug a fire hose on here and just rip that sucker open. Those cracks are suddenly ripped apart because the pressure of the higher level achievement coming through causes more problems. It amplifies. And so people who are bad with money, give them more money, they get worse with money, not better. Why do most lottery winners end up worse? They win millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they end up worse. Less than 7 years later, they end up worse than when they started before they won the lottery. Because they sucked at managing money, and now let's give them a ton of it. And watch what happens. It just leaks everywhere. So how can we fix that stuff? Well, let's begin. Just our communication. Start to notice the way that we speak and the way other people receive. Right? I tell parents all the time, if your kids aren't listening, shut up. Change your approach. And they're like, well, how do I do that? I'm like, well, I have a thing for you. Let's go talk. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking that stuff, instead of me delivering it all the time in person, one-on-one, or in Facebook groups and writing these huge big posts and doing all this stuff, I'm like, you know what? I keep seeing the same problem, the same challenge. Let's just resolve this and give an easy place for people to go and get it, and it is free. It only takes you 48 minutes, so even less than an hour of your time, completely free, no cost, no obligation. Watch it on your phone, watch it in the loo, when you're going to the bathroom, whatever you got. So that is my gift to you, is this webinar. So I'll have the links coming out here soon. Keep an eye out on my page. I'm probably not going to go to bed right away on the 13th, probably midnight 01 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be like, it's live, go, do the thing, yay! Because I'm like really excited about it. It's something I've been working on for a while. And if you didn't get a chance yet, you guys can also pick up my book for free. And if you're in the webinar and you haven't gotten the book, I'll make sure you get that as well. So Your Best Child Ever Is This Game Worth Winning, the only parenting book with a money-back guarantee. Went number 1 in 3 categories in 8 hours when I launched it because it's awesome. And I'm giving it away free now because I just shared earlier today on my Facebook about teen suicide. A friend of mine, Pete King, he had a podcast that just came out talking about that, and it's a growing problem. And we don't have the luxury of doing nothing. We don't. Our kids are literally dying. 8 years old committing suicide. That has to change. We have to change it. The kids aren't going to do it because they don't know how. So what can we do differently? There are solutions. There are ways out. Let's get together. Let's make this happen. Let's make some changes. Let's change the world. You don't fight the darkness by fighting darkness. You get rid of the darkness by being so alive and alight and on fire in your own life, the darkness just disappears around you because there's no room for it. So let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Let's plan out our weekend, get some family connection time, have some great stuff going on, and love you guys. You make it a great day. And I will see you when I see you. Bye. Ba-doop.